Welcome to the Lead Bold podcast, where faith and leadership meet clarity, conviction, and purpose. This podcast exists to equip leaders to grow spiritually, think strategically, and lead with strength in every arena of life, in the marketplace, in ministry, and at home. I'm Abraham Bellinger, and today we're talking about one of the most defining qualities of every strong and effective leader, and that is vision. Not wishful thinking, not vague ideas, but true vision. The ability to see what others do not yet see and to lead with clarity before results ever appear. Because every meaningful work, every impactful organization, every transformed life, and every lasting movement begins the same way, and that's with someone seeing something first. Leadership without vision eventually becomes maintenance. What happens is you show up, you manage, you respond, you maintain, but you're not moving forward with intentional direction. Vision changes that. Vision gives direction to effort. Vision gives purpose to discipline. It gives meaning to sacrifice. Vision gives leaders the strength to keep going when results are not immediate. You see, when vision is clear, decisions become clearer. And when vision is clear, your priorities become clearer. When vision is clear, your distractions lose their power. Because when you know where you are going, you don't have to chase everything that appears along the way. Strong leaders are not just people who work hard. They are people who see clearly. Now, everyone has sight, but everyone does not have vision. Sight shows you what is. Vision actually shows you what can be. If you think about your sight focuses on your present conditions, and vision focuses on your future possibilities. One of my favorite scriptures speaks to this on the next level, that faith is the substance of things hoped for, is the evidence of things not seen. I also think about a lot how faith comes by hearing, hearing by the word of God. And so if faith comes by hearing, hearing by the word of God, and faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things, here you go, not seen, then you can have sight but not vision, and vision is developed by what you hear. So sight will focus on present conditions, but vision focuses on future possibilities. Sight reacts to circumstances. Vision shapes the outcomes. Now, many people live only by what they see right now. They look at their current resources. They look at the current limitations. They look at the current opportunities or the current obstacles. But leaders with vision are not confined by present reality. They are guided by future possibility. They can stand in a moment that looks small and still see something significant forming. They can stand in a season that feels slow and still recognize that something meaningful is being built. Vision allows you to move with confidence even before the results appear. Before vision becomes public, it has to become personal. When I first got saved in 1996, I saw myself preaching to every ethnicity. I saw myself ministering the gospel to everyone from every background as an evangelist, to gather people together to present the gospel. So vision was personal to me before it ever became public. Every leader who's listening right now, who carries meaningful vision, must first allow that vision to shape their own thinking. That vision should shape how you see yourself, how you see your time, how you see your opportunities, and how you see your obstacles. If you do not believe in what you see internally, you will not lead with conviction externally. Vision is not just about what you want to build, it's about who you must become in order to build it. And it requires growth, it requires discipline, it requires patience, it requires clarity. And often it requires the willingness to keep moving forward when others do not fully understand what you see. Now, vision is very powerful, but it must be protected because over time, vision can become clouded. It becomes clouded by pressure, it becomes clouded by comparison. I mean, there's a laundry list of things that can cloud your vision. It can be clouded by fatigue. It could be clouded by your daily responsibilities. And leaders who once moved with clarity can easily, slowly drift into something we call routine. They stay busy, but they lose direction. They stay active, but they lose their focus. They stay committed, but lose that excitement, not because they no longer care, but usually because vision has not been refreshed. And so vision must be renewed on a regular basis, both internally and externally. So if you, let's say, are a pastor and you're leading a church and you have leaders that are under you, you must renew the vision in your heart first, in your mind first. Do what the Bible says, write the vision, make it plain. Make it plain so that your leaders who hear it, read it, can see themselves in it, where they belong, how they fit, how they're valued, right? So you have to renew this regularly. Can't be a one and done. Vision has to be renewed on a regular basis. It has to be revisited. It has to be reinforced and realigned. Otherwise, leadership becomes reactive instead of intentional. Now, clear vision does not happen by accident by any means at all. It develops through intentional time that you spend thinking, reflecting, and aligning. So leaders with strong vision regularly step away from the noise. They take time to think deeply. They take time to evaluate honestly. They take, of course, time to pray, time to reflect, and time to realign their priorities. Because clarity rarely develops in chaos. Clarity always develops in stillness, in reflection, in your intentional focus. And when you slow down long enough to become centered, then you begin to see clearly again. It happens to every visionary, and that's why it's important that you remember why you started, remember what matters the most, and remember where you are going. And when vision becomes clear again, the energy that you once had when you first started out, when God gave you that vision, that energy returns. Everybody gets fired up when God gives them a vision and they formulate it together, they plan it, they execute, they get it going. And even the leaders under them in their organization are fired up and ready to go to fulfill the vision. But after time and after all of these things that cloud vision come up, it's necessary to revisit and remember the why. Remember why you started. Remember what matters most. Remember where you're going. Once you do that, that energy will return. And then you got to transmit that to the other leaders. Now, vision without discipline is only inspiration. And discipline, here you go, without vision becomes routine. I want to say that again just in case you didn't catch it. I know you can rewind and listen to it, but just hear me again. Vision without discipline is only inspiration. Discipline without vision becomes routine. But watch this. When vision and discipline work together in partnership, leadership then becomes powerful. Vision tells you where to go. Discipline determines whether you get there. Vision shows you the future. Discipline builds it every single day. Every meaningful vision requires consistent action, small actions, daily actions, focused actions. The leaders who eventually see their vision become reality are not always the most talented leaders, right? So I think about myself. I have plenty of skill sets. I have lots of talent, but there's some stuff I don't have. But the leaders who eventually see their vision become reality are not always going to be the most talented, but they will be the most consistent. We are where we are at in our church because of my consistency as a leader, as a visionary for our church. And so that requires not just the vision, but the discipline and the stick-to-itness. I like to call it stick-to-itness. It's those who are consistent. So I've been consistent over the years, along with many of the other leaders that are organized under me. So what happens is we stay consistent, we stay aligned, we stay disciplined, we stay focused, even when progress feels slow. Now, vision is not only for organizations or large goals. Vision should apply to every area of your life. Do you hear me? You need to have vision for your spiritual growth. You need to have vision for your leadership development. You need to have a vision for your family, a vision for the impact you want to have while you're in this world. You need a vision for the kind of life you are building. And when vision becomes clear, life becomes intentional. You begin to choose differently. You begin to prioritize differently. You begin to move differently. You used to say yes to everything. Now you are okay with saying no, because if it does not fit the vision for your spiritual growth or your leadership development or your family or your impact or any of those things, if it doesn't fit that, then you can say no and do it without any guilt, because you understand you can only say yes to what really forwards the will of God, the vision God has for your life in all those areas. And what I love about this is that you are no longer living only for the moment. You are living with direction. Now, here's a question that I want every leader listening to this podcast right now to listen to. Listen to this question and ask yourself this question on a regular basis. What am I building right now? What am I building right now? Not just what am I managing, not just what I am maintaining, but what am I intentionally building? And is it aligned with the vision I carry? Because it's possible, I see it a lot, to stay busy while slowly drifting away from what matters most. It is possible to stay very active while losing direction, but when vision stays clear, alignment becomes easier. And when alignment becomes consistent, progress becomes inevitable. And so here's what I want you to do over this next week until our next episode. I need to challenge you this week to do something very intentional. Take time to step back and revisit your vision. Write down these questions. Where are you going? What are you building? Who are you becoming? What truly matters most in this season of your life? I'll repeat those questions for you again. Where are you going? What are you building? Who are you becoming? And what truly matters most in this season of your life? Take the time that's needed to step back, revisit this vision, write it down. Don't just have it in your mind. The mind is what I like to refer to as the abstract. The concrete is when you bring it to life. You put it on paper, write it down, make it plain, clarify it, refocus on it. Don't have a general vision. Take the time to make your vision focused. You may want to say, you might say, I'm going to have a major impact on the lives of people I'm connected to. That's a very general vision. What does that specifically look like, right? Where are you going? What are you building? Who are you becoming? What truly matters most in the season of your life? When you write this down and clarify it and refocus on it, then your vision becomes clearer. Your leadership then at that time becomes stronger. And when leadership becomes strong, impact will become lasting. You know, I have been so privileged and blessed in my life since I came to Christ in 1996. When the Lord saved me, he put me under a visionary pastor, Bishop William Lee Bonner, rest in peace. He's sleeping with the Lord. But I remember sitting under his teaching, under his instruction. I remember countless of times in classrooms and one-on-one conversations with my pastor, who was leading me and showing me what it looks like to be a true visionary that doesn't just dream about success, but actually wakes up and works hard at it every single day. And one of the things he told me is that if you can see it, you can do it. And what he was really meaning is that if you can see the vision that God has for your life and you write it down and you begin to work on it and you put yourself in places where you can be developed and so on and so forth, so much great advice he gave me. If you do these things and you stick with it, then you're going to be able to accomplish even more than I've ever accomplished. And I saw this in the latter end of his years, how he did so many different things. Even at a senior age, he was able to accomplish so much. He always had a vision of having a Bible college that was accredited. He did that before he left this world. He built the college, he established it, he made it what it was. He had so much vision, but it was not a dream. It was a true vision because it came to pass. He worked really hard at what the Lord put in his spirit to accomplish and to achieve. And so the reason why I'm sharing this with you is that vision will not just come to pass. You got to not only write it, you not only have to make it plain, but you got to find the right people, first of all, to help you accomplish that vision. And then make sure you're articulating it in a very clear way. Make sure you know where you're going. Make sure you know what you're going to build, who you're going to become, what truly matters the most. All of those things I talked about here today in this podcast is so important because then that strengthens you to have an impact that is lasting. Everything my first pastor has done concerning the work that the Lord had him do, and everything particularly specifically that God used him to pour into my life is now his lasting impact. He's asleep in the Lord, but I received what he gave me, and now I'm applying that which he taught me decades ago, which is causing me to be very successful in my leadership, both in church, in my family life, in my personal life, in my career, all of those areas. And I'm forever grateful. I had two pastors. My second pastor, Bishop Herbert C. Hayward, same thing. I used to hear him articulate what God showed him and then how he was able to work alongside the Lord and find the right people to bring it to pass. And I heard the challenges that came up, and challenges always will rise up where there is true vision. But those challenges are never meant to stop you, hinder you, or get you to just straight out quit. Every challenge, every obstacle, every no, whatever it may be, is actually designed to forward the vision. But it is us, we have to remember what God showed us and trust and believe that if God showed us this, then it will come to pass. And to be quite frank, God doesn't even have to show you a vision for your vision to be solid and it comes to pass. There are many people who do not know the Lord who have great vision and have achieved absolutely great success in their lives. So it's all about seeing, writing, articulating, and then sticking to it in your daily actions, small actions, consistent actions. So I hope you received something from this podcast. I want to thank you for joining me for this episode of Lead Bold Podcast. If this episode strengthened your thinking and has given some clarity to your leadership, please help by sharing it with another leader. Share, tell them, hey, Lead Bold Podcast is on all podcast platforms, and encourage those who you know are leaders, those who might be inspired by this, those who can receive something from this podcast. Please share this with someone else who is committed to growth and purposeful living. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. There are actual ways you can support me as well. You can support the Lead Bold Podcast. We have a subscribe option where you can submit a monthly donation to help us keep this going, to take it to the next level. In the beginning of great vision such as this, you need people to come alongside you and see where I'm going with this. And I'm hoping to inspire thousands of leaders across the world so that they can grow and have a purpose-filled life. And so you can help me do that by subscribing, donating financially, making a one-time donation, and most of all, sharing. Share this podcast. Let others know that Abraham Bellinger, pastor of First Fruits Community Church, has launched a brand new podcast called Lead Bold. My third pastor, I want to give him honor and respect, Pastor Mark Moore Jr., such an amazing visionary out of Atlanta, Georgia. If you are not connected to him yet, you need to connect with him because he is absolutely someone who knows how to articulate a vision and pull the people together to accomplish that vision. And he is such an amazing leader, and I really want you to connect with him as well. All right. Thank you so much for sharing this podcast. Make sure you subscribe. And until the next time, lead with clarity, lead with conviction, and my friends, always lead bold.